Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. This is the MRC show that does continue. It never ends. We're here Wednesday night action, live as always, and we are here for Tier 3 action this time round from live at the Suzuka circuit here in Japan. We have already seen two incredibly intense and exciting races already this week on Monday evening. For Tier 1 and Tier 2, what can the Tier 3 drivers conjure up for us in the land of Godzilla and the land of the rising sun? We've also got Tier 4, of course, coming later on this evening, so this is where your Wednesday night entertainment should only be. So don't go anywhere, folks. Get involved, of course, on the YouTube chat. We'd love to have a bit of crack with you, a bit of conversation, a bit of fun, and then to join and top it all off is the man who's joining me this evening. He is a man of I would say a fantastic insight, a very good racing mind, a very strategic mind, who knows the ins and outs of pretty much every circuit. And if you ask nicely and you give him a rub, he will pop out of his lamp. And it can only be one man. It's Mr. Genie.
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
Good evening. I'm very well. It's great to be back with you.
Yeah, no, it's really nice to be back. It's always lovely to, we were former teammates. It's great to see you, and a personal note, it's great to see you going so well in Tier 2 this year, I must say. It's there was a time there, it was a long time ago, just in case you don't know, in case you're a latecomer to MRC, where I was a bit quicker than Mark, but boy, is he a lot quicker than me now. And it's just nice to see him zip up the road and go, one time I was quick like him, honest. But yeah, no, it's great to be back, and hope for some quick words as well as some quick action with you tonight as we watch them go around Japan.
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate the kind words there. Thank you very much. Yeah. And you're right. Yes, you were one of the men to beat, of course. And I've got, you say, as teammates. Was it season 3 or season 4? I think we were teammates.
Way back. Yellow Renaults before Alpine. It was.
I know, they were beautiful cars. Did enjoy the time there, and yeah, as well. And I think we worked well together as a teammates. We were never on party, but we just had a kind of an understanding. Okay, you're quick at this point, go. Yeah. I'm quick. You let me go. You know that we always worked out really, really well, and yeah, exactly that. And
similar teamwork tonight from the drivers. It's always nice to see that little intuitive connection between the races as they go around.
Yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah, we do get quite a bit of that. As Simon's with us. Hello, Mr. Hornet. Or, what did we call him? Is he the smarter Hornet? Is that what we called him?
I'm not going to comment. Yeah.
I know. I don't want to upset Chris, but you know. As we're on board with the barbershop. Going a little bit wide through Spoon. We will, of course, do a run through. Oh no. I'm not reading what Martin's put because I know for a fact there's something going on.
I'm not putting that in Google Translate. I'm just.
No, well, leave that to Gav, actually. Gav can do that. His is already questionable enough. As Gav pops a 32-2 in, and here's opening lap. Mr. Banshee himself. We've got a few stand-ins this evening. We've got a few Tier 2. We've got Carl Edens is in there for... I don't even know which track he's in. He's not even out yet. So we've got... who have we got? Let's cycle down the order. We've got Mr. Single Track. As we mentioned, he is there in the pits at the moment in the Aston Martin, I do believe. We've got... Ooh! Partnering the Banshee tonight is his former teammate. It's the Lion King is only partnering. That's they'll enjoy that.
It's always nice, isn't it, to reunite with old teammates and get the gang back together. Yeah, those two are kind of formidable together. So I can see Simba being a good rear gunner for Gav tonight.
Yeah, that's of course the championship has been decided already, and he's actually not racing tonight. Taking the week off. Here's the barn door.
He's earned it, I think.
I think so. Yeah, you're right there. He was. I actually haven't brought up the championship because there's a lot more still to be decided further down the order. in this championship, and it is really close as well. So I'm just going to bring that up, and we'll have a quick run through of the championship standings as they are at the moment. So bear with me, folks. Right, there we are. So yeah, the championship has been decided. As we mentioned, Toby won that one last time out by winning in Singapore. But Kesa Soze, it's not clear cut for Kesa to win, to take second place. There's still, of course, 2 more rounds after this one. 22 points separates Kesa Soze, who's currently lining up in provisional second, and Boothie, currently in 4th. Then right behind Boothie, we've got E17, who's currently lining up in 6th in the Ferrari. He didn't finish last time out, but he's only 14 points behind Boothie at the moment. Then we've got Ghost Rider. Is he in this evening? He is still in the pits at the moment. He's only 1 point further back, then 5 points further back to his teammate Rob Smith, who's currently provisional 3rd. So that's really, really close.
Oh yeah, and I was having a look at it now. We've got from about, we've got from B17 on 93 all the way down to Gav on 70. You're in that zone where if you get a win, all of those drivers are capable of getting a win here, and I think they've all been quite close this season. We had a good stretch of winners throughout Tier 3. You can get 25 points, particularly without a champ around, and all of a sudden you can bump right up that table and you're in the running for promotion. And I think a lot of those names that you've mentioned, they've been excellent. Was it Kaiser Soze the other week, getting his first win in Tier 2? Yeah. It's nice to prove yourself immediately like that. It says, yeah, like I'm ready to be promoted and I belong in the top tiers. That's all you want, because you don't want to be lagging right at the back next season. But I don't think that's going to happen to any of those drivers you've just mentioned if they get the chance to go up.
No, exactly that. I fully agree with you on that one. As you said, there is that really close-knit group. There seems to have been a lot of reserve drivers this season, unfortunately, in Tier 3, where we've got a few reserves. Like the lead reserve driver is Jackster, and he's actually 12th in the standings, and he's only raced about 6 or 7 races. So, and that shows how close that can be in there. And it also shows how important it is to keep racing, to keep on going. And, we do push drivers to attend. This is what we do. It's why we do it. And, yeah, we've had a few difficult weeks, we shall say, haven't we?
Well, it's a guaranteed way to get 0 points every week is not turning up, isn't it? That's
exactly, yeah.
So simple, get on track, roll the dice, and you never know what happens. We've seen some bizarre results, and particularly, we'll talk about it later, but I think Japan's a track that offers a slightly different challenge to the drivers than any of the others that we've experienced. I know we've been around the world a little bit, we've been to Singapore. That's a very different challenge with it being a street track. It's a bit of a survival one, but I like Japan. It's one of my favourite circuits to drive, and I think it always produces fascinating and very close racing all the way to the end.
Exactly that, it does. We saw a lot of close action all the way through, not necessarily right at the front. There was a bit right at the front, and it was a slow burn at Tier 1, but there was a lot of good battles throughout the field there on Monday evening. And then, of course, Tier 2 was, well, for me, it was very, very stressful.
Tier 2, I had to watch it back. It was mad at the front. It was like nobody wanted to win. It was just when is the leader going to spin out and somebody else take a turn. But this is a great challenge of this track. It's more punishing than you think, isn't it? And it never ends. Yeah.
Exactly that. Yeah, it does. It is an absolute onslaught. Even the run from Spoon Corner down to the infamous 130 yard, that is actually, it's not even a break because it's quite bumpy on these 22 cars. It's very, very difficult. It's you still got to pay attention to that. And the pit straight's not that long before you're picking your entry point into turn 1.
Oh, totally. Rob Smith's just about to start a lap. Shall we take him around a lap round?
You
Suzuka?
can do that. You want to take the lead?
Yeah, let's go for it. Okay, so we've got Rob Smith here, pounding down into turn one. Excellent corner this. You want to brake really, really late. You can sort of look that 50 mark, hook it in, and then you're braking just after those little rumble strips on the side. Going into one of my favourite bits of the track. Oh, goodness me! Okay, sorry, Rob, we've cursed you. We might have to go for another somebody for their first lap. I'm really, really sorry.
Who've we got on an out lap at the moment who's coming around? There's a lot of drivers in the first sector. I've promised I wouldn't curse Gav, so we'll leave Gav alone. Who have we got?
Jackster's on an out lap. Let's focus on him. I know he's just coming up.
Oh, the other Mercedes has gotten round as well. In the same spot, pretty much.
It is tricky. I mean, I was going to say that when you're going through that sector, it's really fun to drive, but particularly in quali, and particularly with all your ERS on, those little rumble strips are like ice. They can spin you round in an instant. So
exactly that, and especially the way the cars tend to be set up. They can be quite stiff cars in general, and then depends on your suspension and your ride height settings as well, how they counteract those bumps. This case of Soze now is in the 130s. That's a really good lap. Very, very good lap. Yeah, that's fantastic. Is Eddie Izzard, as we're going to call him, on a lap. I think he's just finished a lap. No, he's on one at the moment. Coming up Dunlop.
Okay, should we try again with Jackster then?
Yeah, let's try again with Jackster. Please, hopefully we don't, but go for it.
Jackster, let's see if he lasts more than one corner this time. So you're going down very tricky corner. It's all about this section. It's that quick left, right, left again. You want to avoid these curves, and it's all a master of throttle control. You can keep it in sixth, down to fifth. Then this is a challenging corner on soft, so you can probably maybe keep it in fifth. He's just gearing, high gear with four, just to make sure he makes it round. And it's full on the power through here. Now this is a really challenging corner. You just want maybe a slight dab or a slight lift through here. You can't go quite full. Use all of the exit on there. And then in fourth, that's brilliant. You can use a bit of the exit on the left there. Onto a very challenging hairpin. You want to wait for the rumble strip to run out, and then it's hard on the brakes and hook it in. The trick here is trying to keep as much momentum through this corner as possible, because you'll need it as you approach another very difficult corner, which is a spoon, is it, this one?
Yep.
Yeah. It's got multiple A apexes, this one, and then you hook it to the side, and then two. You want to go on the power as quickly as possible, try and use a bit of that outside rumble strip if you can, and then it's full beans down here. Is when you don't have to worry as much, you don't have to lift as you go through this big sweeping left-hander, and then we're into this final chicane section. You want to wait until you're about the 100 mark, hard on the brakes, hook it in, a little bit deep there, and you'll be really careful, particularly you've got no traction control out of here, because you can just lose the back end so easily out there. There's a little bump you don't see, and that's across the line. And Jackster's in third place with a 1:31.133. So yeah, excellent lap there from Jackster.
That was a great improvement, good 7/10s, and in the meantime Eddie Dust absolutely obliterated Soze's poor time to a 1:30.3. That is a very, very, very good lap. Mr. Nitro is 4/10 up on his lap, but like I said, we are going to leave him be. His teammate currently in 8th position. Don't forget, we saw a single track as a Tier 2 track. We actually used the hard tyres for this one. The Tier 2 reserves can only use mediums, and single tracks decided to use the hards in this one. Carl Edens is on the lap as well. He is out on the medium compound tyres for that. Good evening, Gib. So Jackster's a main candidate for today's Tier 4 win. Ooh, okay. Well, to be fair, with a current lap like that, anything can happen in Japan. Oh, as TY Clears decided to nut the wall out of the hairpin, little bit too eager on the throttle. I see what, single track's going quicker and quicker on those hard tyres. He's just going up to 13th.
It's funny, isn't it? Once they warm up, the hard tyres aren't as bad as everybody thinks. It's just it takes a couple of laps. They're 4 laps old, those hards. I think he's almost using this qualifying session as a bit of a practice session, just get a few sighter laps in and see how he can do against the rest of the field. Yeah,
exactly that. He was having a good race. I think he had a bit of a moment. Simon's trying to curse somebody now. To be fair, I've done that from YouTube chat. I have mentioned somebody, tipped somebody, and then they've probably hit a wall. Um,
it happens. That's why I never leave the. If you're racing and you've got the commentary on, great, fantastic. For me, can't do it. Distracting. Or if I hear my name, that's it. I'm gone. I can't focus. So I really need to get in the zone.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same as you. I have had it on, but I've had it on mute, just so I can sometimes see where people are. If championship rivals, things like that. Rotterdam pops up. It's a fifth good lap. Gained by a second. The track is really ramping up. The drivers have really got their eyes in now. But yeah, I have it on if championship rivals, or if there's someone in particular who's looking strong on a particular track. I would like to know where they are, and I try to look for that.
Yeah, lots of useful information here, particularly if you haven't got. I know a couple of people run with like their mates, or they might even have a race engineer, which is always a bit helpful because that allows you to concentrate on the driving. But if you're not lucky enough to have a race engineer, then fingers crossed we can provide you with some of the information you'll need to make those key decisions. I think tactics and knowing when to pit around here vital, because overtaking opportunities are at a minimum, aren't they? There's the start finish straight, and maybe that's it, or at least that's the safest place, because there's not a lot of places you want to go too wide around here.
No, you may get the run if you're very aware, shall we say, to try and go side by side through which one we're bored with Karim Benzema, through that S curves as they actually call it. That's one point you could. Potentially, if you get the run out of the Degners, which Scratch is actually coming up to, and into the hairpin, potentially it's always a potential, and there's a lot of risks in some of these other places, isn't there?
Yeah, well, just talking about the hairpin, that's a place where your eyes can get a bit wide and get a bit too greedy, in my opinion. That is an overtaking opportunity, but you have to be side by side there. If you just stick a wheel up the inside and you're not side by side with the car in front, you're just going to lose your front wing, because everybody takes that one a little bit different. The other places maybe is if you can get a really good run and use up a bit of ERS down this straight that Benzema is on at the moment, that gives you a really good opportunity as well. I think we always know Gav prefers a skinnier setup. If you can cope with a skinnier setup through the S's, you're really going to benefit on that long section before the chicane we're just going through there. It becomes an easy overtaking opportunity, even though there isn't any DRS. If you've got some ERS left and you've got much less wing than the guy in front of you, you can make that pass quite easily.
Yeah, you really can. 100%, you're right there. And there was Alex Edric, our Qatari man. He was behind me in our T2 race, and down that straight towards 130R, he would pull 2 to 3 tenths on me. Calvin was running a little bit lower wings than me as well. He was very quick in a straight line, but Alex was just on another level. But because of the way that the track is, he wasn't able to. He is a very intelligent driver, and he didn't actually. But you could have made a move into 130R or exactly that, and hold it, and try to make a move into the chicane. And he was very, very good. So he didn't actually do that because he was, he's not one to. No, he doesn't really make mistakes. I know he did unfortunately spin, and I'm not actually sure before he actually took the win. Yeah, he took the win, which was a fantastic recovery from him, and he was very, very strong through there. But he didn't actually. He's not one to stick a nose in there.
Yeah, it's you got to be bold around here, but not careless. I think maybe that's the motto for every track, but particularly around here, it's one that can do things with your head. You really think, I've got to get past here or else my race is ruined. But I was giving some advice the other night, just keep, assess the car, give them 2 laps in front of you, see where you're faster, where they're slower, etc. Then pick your point and make sure that you commit to it, that there are passing opportunities around here, but you just got to be really, really certain of it, because otherwise you are going to cause a big incident, unfortunately.
Yeah, and some of the incidents around here can be quite large because of the average speed around here is quite high, and if there is something that goes and you do a little bit awry, it can go very, very awry. That is it. Qualifying is over for Tier 3. We have got Eddie Dust, one of our newest members, taking pole position. I'm sure he's already taken pole once in France. I'll have to double check that. But very, very good driver on a 30.3. Case of Soze on a 30.7. Then Rob Smith will line up behind them in third place. Neil in fourth. Jackson in fifth. With his teammate Rotterdam in sixth. Boothie in seventh. Ghost Rider in eighth. Simba, the Lion King, in ninth. And we'll come back to the rest of the grid very, very shortly. Good evening, Mandy. Good evening, Gibbon. He's tipping Hugo Brown. He's going to say, time to unleash the beast, Hugo. Well, you're going to have to do it from a little bit further down in the grid. Mandy, good evening. Martin messed up his timings, apparently. And good evening to Ant as well. So, quickly going back through, yes, so we mentioned the top 9 drivers. Konichiwa will start from 10th. Then Dak Convertible on one of his return races is in 11th. Kareem Benzema in 12th. E17 13th, ahead of the Banshee in 14th. TY Clear in 15th. Carl Eden's set a lap time on the medium tyres. He is 16th. Single track on the hard tyres. He is in 17th. The Gecko in 18th. Hugo Braun in 19th. And Stringy B did not set a lap time. So, not the most ideal lap for the Papaya Boys. So they've got a lot of work to do. For the 27 laps, and look at that, we have beautiful, bright sunshine. The drivers will be breathing a huge sigh of relief, not the same sigh of dismay that the Tier 1 drivers had to face on Monday evening, where they start on intermediate tyres, and that was rather exciting. And I think we've lost Mr. Atwood for a moment.
You know what? Here's a
he's
tip
back.
for you kids. If you're drinking a beer, right, and you put your mic on mute to stop people from hearing you drinking a beer, remember to take yourself off mute. Otherwise, you talk yourself for a while and you sound crazy. So, yeah.
Everyone wants to know now. What beer? What you have?
It's Adnam's Ghost Ship, a citrus pale ale. I will not bore you by reading the label, but it does promote some bold citrus flavours. So, yeah, that will be...
That actually sounds right up my street, that.
It is. If you're listening, Adnams, we're always open to sponsors. So this is free. This is not an ad. But if you want to give us money, sign up right now, please.
Love it. Love it. And if the people kept listening, I would be inundated with rum sponsors by now.
Yeah, well, why not? Go for it. We've got Iron Brew, rum. Let's expand the whole portfolio. But yeah, sorry.
We need to have
the race.
Yeah, I think we
race.
need to have something that's not alcohol related for Formula One. Having a quick look at the tyres, we've got quite a big mix actually through the field. Some drivers starting on the hard compound tyres, actually the majority on hard. Top 3 on the mediums. Rotterdam has gotten different to his teammate. He's starting on the mediums. Konichiwa for 10th on the mediums. E17 and TY Clear also on the medium tyres. So that's a good little mix, that one.
I think it's going to be quite fun. It's always it's usually a one-stop around here, isn't it? Either medium hard or hard medium. I prefer to be a bit faster at the end, so I'll be really interested to see if those hard runners can keep up with the medium boys right at the start. That's what we want to do. Yeah, DRS not as important around here as some tracks, but it's still... You'll see a real difference through those S's, I think, those first few corners for those medium and hard runners. That's where those soft tyre runners will be.
Yeah, Tier 2 on Monday. The top 2 start on the mediums. And I think by the end of pretty much lap 2, to be honest, I think it was lap 3, Calvin and I were battling, granted. And the top 2 on the mediums had bridged at least 2 to 3 seconds from us in that space of time. They really, really disappeared off into the distance. It was... I'm going to use the term demoralising. But they do get to about... if they start on them, they do get to about lap 10. And then they seem to go off with the heavy fuel loads. Mediums, you're going to be looking around potentially between lap 15 to lap 17. You would expect the drivers to start coming into the pits. Mr. Monster, my current teammate, actually took the soft tyres. No one's starting on the softs, but he took the softs 10 laps in Tier 2, which was absolutely incredible from him. Yeah, it really, really was. Took them as long as some of the mediums, but here we go, folks. We've now got 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights, and let's go racing, and we're away, and he just gets a good start, and his teammate's actually thereabouts. He's coming alongside him into turn 1. Is he going to try and make the move? And he just about leaves him room, but he's on the inside. The teammates, come on, boys, just and he holds off and sort of, he's not giving up through the S's. Wow, already.
Bold start, particularly when your teammates, with everybody kept it together there. Excellent driving. I don't think we've had a single car spin yet. We've got a nice big train behind them, so well played, lads.
Yeah, there was a car going very wide in the background. We'll have to come back and see who that was through the S's. There's a yellow flag. I think that is someone's gone down. As Boothy's gone round, going out of the S's into Dunlop. But no, you're right. It's this is quite key for the championship. Soze wants those extra points, but with Boothy being now, unfortunately, 20th after his spin, that makes his job quite a lot easier, and he doesn't have to worry now. But those medium tyres are going to be firing up very, very quickly. Don't forget top 3 on those, and already that gap to Jackster from Rob Smith, already 1.2 seconds, 1.4 already, and he's actually got his teammate for company as well on the faster tyres as well. It's going to be interesting. You mentioned obviously the team game. Are we going to see that this evening?
I hope so. If I was Jackster racing with Rotterdam, I would try and give him the place as soon as possible, probably on the start-finish straight, because, yeah, he can help string you along with the DRS, at least lap 2, but if Rotterdam's stuck there for a couple more laps, then he's going to lose a lot of time, and those top 3 are already pulling away.
Yeah.
1.5 seconds.
Exactly that. So we've got a few drivers. Jackson and Rotterdam both got Neil off in the first lap, got him off the line, and there he is. Rotterdam has now gone past into turn 1, and he'll be trying to chase down that top 3. The top 3 seem to have dropped Rob Smith just a little bit, the top 2, so don't know if Rob made a little error. Easy to do. We saw it quite a lot through in the earlier tiers through turn 1 and turn 2 to make, just run that little bit wide and make that mistake. But now Neil's looking a little bit racy, and he's dragging Ghost Rider and the Lion King as well. Don't forget Lion King on the hard tyres. He's dragging him up there as well, in the absence, unfortunately, of the King Kong Anaconda this evening.
Other stuff to do. What's more important than MRC, eh? But yeah, no, it's always
Nothing.
Happy when our reserves come in and can prove themselves. One reserve is really proving himself, of course. Eddie Dust up the top here. Very strong showing in France, and I think he's proving it again. I wonder if those 2 teammates are going to work together, or if Eddie's just going to say, no, this is my opportunity to show just how quick I am. I don't want to be friends, I just want to get and win under my belt.
Well, that's that, and I think he's pretty much proven he's tier 2 pace, and I think this is what he's there to prove and what he's there to show. And he's a nice guy, actually. I've spoken to him once or twice myself, and he is a nice guy. So, yeah, hopefully this is it. Is the opportunity, as you rightly say there, Rob, to see a show what he can do and fight for a seat next season. Oh, as that was Kanichwa tapped the back, and Simba did have a moment. He got tapped a little bit. Kanichwa just outbroke himself, and the other Ferrari now has made his way through. But the DRS is enabled, and the DRS gets enabled. No, it's not straight away this time. It did in tier 1. That was really strange, because as soon as it got enabled, it was on. And this time it hasn't. It is going to be this lap. DRS is now live, kicking. Oh, it is. Oh, it's Rotterdam. Oh no, he was on the mediums as well and got past his teammate on his quest to push and catch up with the place Rob Smith. That's really unlucky. Important points here for Rob. He's very close to Ghost Rider and E17, so this is very important to close that gap and potentially jump him. And look at that, what a move up from Dunlop Curve to Night Shadow. That was a fantastic move, Garth. Wow.
It's one of the few overtaking opportunities you got around here, and he took it with a plumb, didn't he? That's excellent. Happened to P12.
Yeah, that I wouldn't even call that a race, an overtaking spot, but he made it. He made it one. A Stringy B, what a start Stringy B's had. Started 20th, now up to 13th on the 3rd lap. This is a fantastic start from him.
Those 2 are worth keeping an eye on, aren't they? Night Shadow and Stringy B. If you can make your way up the field like that in Japan, you can probably make your way up the field anywhere, because very narrow track and very difficult to pass.
Yeah, and as we mentioned earlier, very bumpy as well. E17 up 6 spots, TY Clay up 5, Stringy B up 7 already. We've had a few spinners. Who was that? That was Quentin Benzema goes very wide to the 130R. That's not where you want to be out there. Let's get rid of that so we can see a bit more of the screen. But that gap at the front now, 1.3 seconds. Rob Smith really dropped back. Jack's struggling now. He's just been passed under DRS by Neil. So Neil now up into 4th place. Now Jack's been a tier 4 driver at this moment, but he's still showing how quick he is. And he is on course. Potentially he's in the fight for that tier 4 championship as well. So that's going to be quite interesting to see how that one plays out, and how if he can get himself up there into tier 3 for next season.
Yeah, nice little race for Jackson, this, isn't it? Just sort of race along here, try and get some practice in for the one that, you know, your tier, the one that matters.
Yep.
For him. Oh, gosh,
sorry, I was actually a bit wrong. He's actually in line for 2nd. I do apologise.
Second, that's fine.
Sorry, Jackster. Didn't mean to do that. 38 has got in tier 4 has got a 48-point lead, and then it's very, very, very close behind. There's only 23 points separating the 2nd and 7th. 27 if you want to include Giban, his teammate, further behind him. So that is going to be a very exciting end to that season. With they've still got, of course, here to race, and then 2 more after that, so 3 in total. That could go anywhere. The championship could be decided tonight. So don't miss that one, folks. We've still got 2 championships left to be decided, which is Tier 1 and Tier 2. They could be potentially resolved next week and next time out in Imola. But for now, we've also got a potential championship that could be decided this evening. So there's your Wednesday night entertainment until the late hours of the night. So don't go anywhere. Looking at this, Jax is now keeping with Neil quite calmly, but the gap at the front opened up to 2 seconds. Rob Smith kind of on his own a little bit, just trying to keep touch. But that hasn't really got an answer at the moment. He seems to be losing time hand over fist. Dakon has pitted. Single track up to 12th now. Now he's got Simba's all at the back of E17. He's because Kenichiwa's had a problem. Kenichiwa must have spun. Missed that.
Yeah, I think he's right at the back of the 18th. Dakon in the pits must have had a bit of wing damage. And yeah, unfortunately, Hugo, the big losers at the moment, right at the back. They'll be praying for a safety car, but at the moment, I must say, it seemed quite clean between the races. We had a couple of incidents, a couple of bumps, but yeah, nothing too serious. Everybody's biding their time. It's a track that comes to you, isn't it, Suzuka? Yeah. The more time you spend on it, the more confident you get in the car, and yeah, it gives back. It's very rewarding in that way.
Yeah, and I think some of the drivers may be starting, especially the mediums. I've noticed, I don't know if you saw it, that there's the tyres go through a definite graining phase, and the hard tyres will come to it in approximately 2 to 3 laps time. And then the mediums may not already be going through that phase. I mean, they don't seem to be looking at the moment. Well, it could be actually the mediums, because Neil and Jackster have really closed in now on Rob Smith, so those hard tyres working absolutely perfectly at this moment in time. And you're right, how the track seems to get better and better as not just how we race it, but the rubber goes down, and you're right, the confidence goes up, doesn't it?
Totally. Trying to see this Night Shadow back here making a move on scratch.
Yeah, DRS wide open. Nice and easy move. Flashing a little bit on his ERS. That's so he's been working very, very hard to get past the Aston Martin. So hopefully he's got the pace in that barbershop car to pull away and save a bit more of his ERS when it's needed to defend. But he's got Stringer B, who's a man on a charge, absolute on a mission. Carl's had a moment somewhere, and T.Y. Clear has pitted as well. So this is very early for the drivers to be pitting. Let's have a quick look at the people who have stopped. So the top 3 at the end have stopped. So T.Y. Clear's got on the soft tyres. Dakon and Hugo on the mediums. Very interesting.
Early for fastest lap, but maybe he thinks he can do it, or maybe he's just praying for a safety car.
Oh, there's been an incident. There was Kenichi was retired as well. That's through the Dunlop curbs, and we got a safety car.
I said the words. I'm ever so sorry.
To be fair, we had one in Tier 2, one in Tier 1, and this is the first one, and hopefully the only one in Tier 3. This is going to benefit. You mentioned a couple of guys who have had the spins and the pit stops are going to be beneficial. Are we going to see anybody come into the pits? Let's quickly go to the top 2. Eddie really did half back off there, and he does pit, and his teammates followed him in as well. His teammate's going to have to really back off, but if Rob Smith does pit.
See, for me, that's a long way to take the hards, isn't it?
Yeah,
20
21 laps. Even if a couple of laps behind the safety car, it's still a long, long way.
What's the recommended strategy around here? That the hards go about
15. I think it was 15 to 16s as the best time. You can, if you nurse the hard, you can take them 20 laps and that's kind of normal race pace. The few laps behind the safety car, it is possible to do that towards the end. Okay,
it's just I would be it seems nearly every medium runner has done it, has it? Apart from I see what Rob Smith's gone for the alt stretch. I think he's gone from the one stopper to the two stopper. He think he's going to go medium soft maybe, or medium hard. Should be interesting. But yeah, those racers who all started on hards, they're the ones laughing now. And I do think maybe the reason, if you're a medium runner, why you pitted now is you could see how much Neil was gaining on Rob Smith. Those hards were coming into their own. Those mediums were only going to get worse, weren't they? Have 2 laps under the safety car and then try and get away with people on hards who are clearly going to be faster than you. You're
exactly, yeah. No, dead right. Definitely there. E17's the other as well. He's gone for soft tyres. Maybe trying to pluck up some spaces early on. They only seem to last about 6 laps, give or take, before they really fall off a cliff. So maybe hoping for another bit of mid-race drama, and so he can take a cheap pit stop late on. Yeah, and then go mediums towards the end, which could work.
A safety car does make the 2-stop more viable round here if you can time it exactly right. But it's my worry for those hard runners now. What was it? Eddie, Kaiser and Rotterdam. They're the only ones who have gone on fresh hards with the intent to take them towards the end.
Yeah, it is doable. I think with a couple of laps, I think we'll definitely have at least one more behind the safety car. While Hugo catches up, going through Spoon. I think it could be done, and it's a balancing act behind the safety car of keeping a bit of heat in your tyres, so they don't take too much warming up, but then not overdoing it and causing yourself more wear.
Totally. The other thing to consider around here were you in the lead when the safety car for Tier 2 on Monday?
Yes.
Were you the lead driver? Was that, to me, it seemed, was that the safety car going in late, or were you taking it all the way to the line? Because it is one of those places where it's hard to catch people sleeping, I feel. You get some very long run-ups, like at Baku, where you've got a whole pit straight for sort of juicy moment to go. At Suzuka, I feel that moment is quite short around here. How challenging was that safety car restart for you?
It did. We saw in Tier 1 it normally goes when it kicks into the last sector. It only changed and said it was coming in as it hit the chicane. So it was a very, very late call for the safety car. I think I'd half prepped my tyres anyway on the off chance that it might have come in. And then I had to back up a little bit and find out where we go, because of course we know that there's a throttle glitch that kicks in on this game, that if you're catching the safety car before it hits the pits. So I was trying to back up a little bit, and I timed it quite well, I thought, and got a little bit of a jump on Calvin, who was behind me, and managed to, I think, eke out about 6-7 tenths down the straight. Tier 1 was even more dramatic than that. I can't remember, I think they went about the same point I did, round down the hill.
Yeah.
But gained about nearly a second going into turn 1, so they really, really timed it absolutely perfectly. But yeah, it can give you a late call, but now we've got the pack together, it's going to be interesting to see if it decides it's going to go in this lap. We've seen a few other drivers pit again. Single Track Rotterdam and Hugo Braun have now gone onto the medium tyres. Rotterdam got a penalty for going in the pit lane here, so it has now called it quite early at the start of Sector 3, so now the drivers can start to get the last bit of heat in the tyres, and Neil is now the de facto safety car, will get the last little bit of heat, and now it is him who chooses when the drivers decide to disappear and start to go when we get the green light.
Concentration now here. Let's see what he does.
Yep.
Oh goodness me!
Not that! He's spun it. He tried to put the power down, and it's just gone horribly wrong. And he's given Jackster an absolute gift to take the lead, and he gets about 9 tenths of a gap into turn 1 ahead of Ghost Rider. The Alpha boys, the Alfa Romeos, third and fourth now. I think someone may have been absolutely timing that perfectly and got an absolute cracking jump from those two barbershop duo.
Suddenly fallen right into their hands, hasn't it? And yeah, we both know how strong drivers those are. Jackster as well probably can't believe his luck there, being first place, and poor Neil Mahar goes out to you. It's difficult leading. It's difficult to know when to go. These no traction control and cold hard tyres. It's very unforgiving in this game.
Exactly. Currently using medium traction control in Tier 3. That will change for next season, where they will be allowed to use full traction control should they decide to use it and decide to need it. A lot more changes coming for Season 10, which have been released. Currently, the provisional calendar as well for our classic season has been released, where as our 10th anniversary, MRC is going to some classic countries and classic tracks, as Geke's had a moment through Spoon, and he is unfortunately dropping down the order and will be de facto 19th and last of the runners. So that's really unlucky for the Geckos. So unlucky there, Matty.
I think the cars to watch at the moment, or the ones making a pulse, are Eddie, Kaiser and Rob. All of those on fresh tyres, one of them mediums, the other on hards. They were really battling hard through that last sector. They'll be able to make some positions, maybe up before. Let's see.
Wow, we were just on board with Stringy B ahead of them. Of course, still started last, don't forget. And he's having an absolute... I don't know if he had a qualifying ban, because he didn't actually set a lap time. I'm not actually sure. If he didn't, I'm sorry. But if you did, this is absolutely incredible. Up to 5th. He's now got 1.4 to the Banshee, who's 6 tenths behind his teammate Simbu, who's putting Ghost Rider under all sorts of pressure at this moment. But Stringy, he passed him into turn 1. He's already got 1.2 second gap over Scratch. And now he's got those, as you mentioned, the two Alpha... Oh, the Alpines even, sorry. Both on the hard tyres. They're the ones that are almost battling each other. Kaiser wants this. Kaiser needs this for that cemented almost second place in the championship. And what would certainly mean, to be fair, he's proved himself in Tier 2, hasn't he? He's stepped up quite a lot this season as a reserve. And he's just looking for that promotion next season.
Yeah, and I will say I want to see hard racing between these boys. Obviously, these Alpine drivers desperate to get past and not lose too much time to those hard runners up front. But they've got to make these tyres last as well. Don't drive too hard. Don't drive it so much you're going to end up with a puncture later if the plan is to go all the way to the end. You've got to do a bit of a balancing act here.
Oh, yeah, exactly that. But Casey gets a good drive off the last corner. DRS now enabled. It won't be before these two Alpine boys. Tell you what, Casey's used a lot of his ERS already in the opening lap. Look at the slipstream on the both, and listen, it's Chris. We're going to get done by two Alpines. He is into turn 1. Wow!
Shake and bake, boys, shake and bake. That was right, just slingshot them around. Excellent.
Wow. Oh, wow, that was... I'm so glad we were on board with Kesa for that, because that was incredible. We've got a little bit of support for Jackster in the chat. Gibbon and Simon all supporting Jackster for the win. Currently doing a very, very good job. Hasn't pitted yet, though, so these two boys, the two Alpines, are the ones that we need to keep our eyes on as the race progresses. But anything can happen in MRC. It usually does. Rob Smith now is the next one to catch Charisma and try to get past him as soon as he possibly can. One of our other reserve drivers, Single Track's actually going no assists tonight as well. He's in 14th as it stands. So still a good, really good showing actually. To suddenly dive in with no assists.
No assists around here is, quite a big ask. It's got a lot of challenges to do, a lot of quite hard braking zones and subtle braking zones, and that first sector is a big challenge as we see Rob Smith blast past Scratch there into 130R. Excellent move from him. Yeah, he wants to make those medium tyres work as well as possible. But yeah, sorry, shout out to Single Track for one with no assists tonight. Yeah, exactly that. And the other man from Tier 2, Mr. Edens, is the next one who's going to be trying to get through on Christmas in the Williams tonight. He's got a secret love for them. We all know he does.
He tries not to. Oh! Change for the lead. No, it's not. It has a change. Well, I'll say the lead. Do apologise. Sorry. The net lead, you should say. Once pit stops, and Case has finally got past his teammate with the help of the DRS.
That was an excellent move. He knew exactly where to position his car there. He was on the inside. He had the space. The teammate gave him the space as well and was like, all right, you take the inside, I'll take the outside. We'll see who has the better exit. And yeah, Kaiser was just that one who got his elbows out a little bit more, perfectly within the rules. Excellent clean overtake. We want to see more of that, boys.
Yeah, it was. Luckily, we cut to it just at the end, and you're right, very, very clean from both of them. To be fair, I think we've both been wheel to wheel with Sosa this season. He's a firm but very, very fair driver. He's used a lot of his ERS though, but is he going to try and line up a pass it to Spoon? He thinks about it, but backs off this time round. But he just seems to have the grip, those fresher hard tyres. Oh, he tried to put a nose in and it's gone wrong! Oh, he tried to put the nose in on Stringy B. That gap was always going to close. Stringy knew he was there. He was going to take the apex. It's not one you think of making that second move, and unfortunately, it hasn't worked out for Soze. How important is that going to be for the championship in the long run? Of course, he's got a decent buffer as well to Booth. He was currently still out of the points in 11th, so at the minute, there is going to be no change on that one. E17 is only going to be scoring 1 point in his bid to close the gap, but the man who's going to be making a few moves is Ghost Rider. He's just been passed by the first of the barber shop duet, and now he's going to have the other one behind him for company very, very soon. But those hard tyres are going to start, they'll still feel okay. They'll have gone through that graining phase, and the safety car will have helped with that, of course. And now they'll be feeling good, I think, for the next couple of laps, and then you'll start to lose the grip as it goes. TI clears pitted again. Not a good race, unfortunately, for him.
I think the one... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say the one saving grace there for Kaiser Soze. I know he's found himself down in 14th, but a lot of those cars in front of them, all the way up to probably Eddie, his teammate, they all need to pit again. None of those medium runners are going to make it to the end. Those hard runners on 12 laps, they haven't pitted once. So the trick there is to keep going, get your head down. You know you've got the pace. See where you are when all the pit stop happens. And then it's up to the gods, isn't it, really? Can you keep those hard tyres to the end and still keep them at a fair old lick as well?
Well, that's actually a very perfect point. Absolutely perfect. He's got. I've just looked. He's now got 12 seconds to the leader, so he's well within that pit stop phase, as you rightly say. Boothie now with a 3-second penalty. So when Soze knows about that, that's going to help his cause. Stringy B is the first one to pit from those who have got the hard tyres on. He's taken those 13 laps. Decided he's had enough. The medium tyre runners, yeah, Dak Convertible Star. He's already pitted once, actually. Yeah, everybody ahead other than Eddie Dust and Rob's. Well, yeah, Eddie Dust really is going to have to pit again, so he could still be on for Kaiser coming through the field. He's closing the gap on Boothie. Now he's finally got his legs back in the heat, back in the tyres. He knows exactly where the grip is once more, and he's going to be pushing on and pushing on. But I tell you what, we know Rob Smith's going to possibly have to pit again, but he's starting to harass Eddie now.
Yeah, it's a medium against the hards, isn't it? And he'll really he knows these mediums aren't going to go to the end. He doesn't have to do any bit of saving. He can just attack. And why wouldn't you? You need to get past that hard run if you want to try and build up any sort of gap, because you know you're going to pit again. So, yeah, fingers crossed he can do it.
Yeah, exactly that. And it depends. He's had 7 laps on them, so they're going to start falling off. He's already pitted from the medium tyres. He's going to have to use the hards, because you'd be very impressed if he does get those, if he does go for the softs and does get them at least 10 laps. It goes a little bit wide. Is that going to be an opening for the Banshee into the chicane? It's not. But he's going to try and get the better exit. Actually, yeah, goes a little bit wide. Gap's got the better exit. Oh, he had to actually back out of the throttle. Such was the drive that he had, and he's actually made the move before the DRS.
A win-win, wasn't it?
Trying to have a look, can't do it though. Now we've got Alfa Romeo 2 and 3.
Just butt in, Jackster here, tier 4 driver, a second ahead of Tier 2 driver Simba in the lead of the race. This is an absolutely smashing drive, and I hope he can take this confidence into the next race that he's competing in, because he's, yeah, absolutely smashing it at the moment.
He is, he's definitely got his eye in. And of course, Tier 2 driver will receive 4-place penalty at the end of this race. So in net second at the moment is Night Shadow and then Ghost Rider. But Eddie Dust is really now, he is on the charge. He has got the grip. Look at that, can take that tight line and get the power down out the hairpin, side by side through turn 12. And is he going to be able to make it? I've done this and it's very scary as he going to spoon, I'm not going to lie. Very, very scary, but he does get the move done. Nice and early under the brakes as well. So now Eddie chasing down the barbershop boys, as Gav's just gone a little bit off the back of his teammate at the moment. Maybe starting to feel the wear on the tyres, or are they planning something? That is the next question. Are they planning a potential pit stop? When is Jackson going to come in the pit as well? That's him in. Simba continues. What's Banshee going to do? Banshee continues as well. Okay.
Interesting. I thought one of them would take the opportunity to pit, because there's a chance if Simba goes first, you can kind of fall over each other. I wouldn't put it beyond them that one of them was trying to go maybe 15, maybe stretch it to 17 laps, go on the mediums, or maybe the softs, who said that, your teammate Maudsley was able to get 10 laps out the softs at the end. That would be a very bold strategy, though.
Well, that's it. And he did that at the start as well, with heavy fuel, which was incredible. Really, really was. You could see it at the end. Trucks covered in, you got lighter fuel, but at the start, wow, he really, really made it work for him. Made a lot of moves up the field. Unfortunately, didn't end his way, but still got a point for the team, which is great and a good result still. So takes confidence hopefully into last two, and we're only 14 or 18 points off the Red Bull at the top of the constructors. So there's still, Tier 2's still got championships to play for.
Definitely.
So yeah, Monday is going to be very, very exciting, and I think especially the Tier 1's going to go down to the final lap of Silverstone, which is our last race of the season. So don't forget, folks, if you haven't already subscribed, if you haven't already rang the bell, do it. Hit the like button as well. Hit the share button. Share it with your friends, your family, all your social media channels as well. Show them what we love, show them what we do, and take pride, because I am very proud of this league, and I don't waste any opportunity to tell them about MRC and the great drivers that we have here and the great teams that we've got as well, working tirelessly behind the scenes till ridiculous hours, in fairness. I think Tier 2 stewards were on it. Well, to be fair, we finished Tier 1 and they were still at it for a good 20-30 minutes at least after Tier 1. So the stewards work very, very hard. 3 nights a week at least, plus appeals the next day. So 5 nights a week, 5 days a week. The stewards are absolutely going for it and really giving their all for this league. And that's why we do what we do and what we love it. And this is why your support is greatly appreciated as well, because we are one of the best out there, if not the best. That's why we have people leave and come back, because they know none other is as good as what we do.
Hey, you're talking to one now, eh? Just
exactly.
Came back, couldn't keep me away. Just little update on the race there. Kaiser Soze had to dip into the pits and has put on a pair of mediums. I don't know, there was a little bit of an incident at the back that, as you said, those stewards that work so hard, they might be looking into that later. I don't know if he picked up any damage or he just decided, no, there's no way I'm going to get these hards to the end. I need to get off them now. But yeah, unfortunately, he was in quite a promising position up in about sort of 8th or 9th. That's taken him all the way back to P18 now, so it's going to have to be a real recovery drive.
Yeah, I did see him actually come in the pits. I was about to mention it. You're right there. You picked up on it perfectly. And it's from the man as Simba's pitted, as his teammate followed him in. He hasn't. His teammates decided to continue on one more lap. You thought with 5-second gap they may have been able to stack there, but has Eddie just close enough this time out? He's not at all. But Gav's going to be losing a lot of time now, as he's going to be scrambling around for the grip. Eddie's not he's used a lot of his ERS. You can see that on the steering wheel there, folks. The green line further to near the bottom of the steering wheel. And then we've got Rob Smith, of course. He's got a little bit more left. 29%. I've got a squint quick. I need glasses. And believe it, honestly, the screen's only 3 feet away from me as well, so I'm really got no chance.
You're getting old now.
I know.
Yeah. This Eddie lap here, I think is going to be a really good exercise in patience. You know that car ahead, they've got much older hards, right at the end of their life. They're going to be slow, right? It's all a question of, do you make a risky move this lap? For me, I think you just suck it up and take it. You know you're going to have pressure from Rob Smith behind, but there's no point lunging in where you don't want to do it. But you're probably going to get Night Shadow in the next DRS zone, or he's going to go into the pits. Let's see what happens first.
Yeah, but that's also going to give him DRS as well. Gav's actually gone a bit defensive there before 130, and you can see through Spoon how Eddie can turn the car and it obeys him. The tyre grip is there. A lot of understeer on that Alfa Romeo at this moment in time. Does Gav decide to pit? He doesn't. He's sticking out. I think he's going to stick out for the softs. He's trying something a little bit different, as Rob has now decided enough's on those medium tyres. What tyres is he going to be putting on? He's going for the hards. He's not actually chancing it with the softs. He's gone for the hard tyres, of course. 2 mediums. Who was that further down? Was just past him there. Was that Jackson? It's not. It's his teammate. Rotterdam has now got past Boothby as Jackster, his teammate, sets the fastest lap of the race. Of course, Jackson did make that pit stop on those mediums that are going to be coming nicely into temperature. Let's have a quick look at those tyres. 3 laps on, they're going to be feeling rather lovely at this moment in time. Kesa sows it on another set of fresh mediums, sets another fast lap at a 32.9. That is a really quick lap time.
That's a very quick lap. Clearly got the pace in that car. Looking at the pit strategy, who that's really worked out for. Simba's been able to jump Jackster, just going for that overcut. That's really worked. The Jackster was in the lead by about a second, and now Simba's in the lead by about 1.5, so they've turned around about 2.5 seconds there, which is excellent. I know Night Shadow's hanging those hards out, and I was really impressed with how he was able to pull away and not get overtaken. But the longer he stays out, I think the further down he's going to end up if he doesn't get off those hards soon. Simba's going to be the big winner here, and if Eddie Lust could win this if he can take those hards to the end. If not, I think this is a chance for Simba to win.
Yeah, could be. You're very right there. He's got 4 seconds to catch the aging tyres of Boothby and Watson, who are going to have to pit. Dak Convertible's going to have to pit. Again, he's under a lot of pressure from the lead, currently Red Bull. He will soon be the second Red Bull after it takes his other pit stop there. Dak Convertible has now pitted. Boothby has followed suit. Jackster's got a 3-second time, but that'd be crucial at the end.
Oh yeah, that's a real shame. He was having such a good race as well. It's also close around him. Fingers crossed. I think he'll have quite a big gap behind him because he can go to the end now, Jackster. Yes, he can. It's just, and there's a gap of about 4.7 between him and Stringy B. So.
Yeah, and also got a 3-second time penalty as well. But he's having a good race. Let's have a quick look at those tyres again. Yeah, Hugo Braun was having a really good recovery race, and unfortunately he has got to pit again, but found himself up there in 7th on the back of Stringy B. But he'll have Rob Smith very soon for company, who's actually got to. He can't be complacent, Rob. He's got Scratch behind him and Ghost Rider, who are on the mediums that are going to be feeling quite nice at this moment in time. So that's good. And I tell you what, Eddie just still can't get past the Banshee.
No, I don't know what you do if you're Eddie here. You might just sit behind and conserve your ERS for a time. You know that he's got to pit, so that's fine. It's just how long he's holding him up for. He might be trying to bring Simba back into it. I'm trying to see how big the gap is. It was about 14 seconds down to about 13, 12 now. So it is slowly working. No doubt Eddie is losing time behind Gav.
Yep. Of course, you're right there. And that's going to bring Jackster into play as well. But only 7 more laps. But is this going to be the moment? Oh, Gav did do a few little jinks there. I think he may have got offsighted a little bit. Oh, wow. Wow. That's some late breaks there from Gav. And all fair must be said, a little bit of jinking. I don't know if he just got offsighted. Gav is now back on controller as well. He's ditched his rig, unfortunately for him. He's now on controller, running no traction, I think. And manual gears on a controller. That takes some serious skill, must admit.
I feel it was like 4 laps ago I said, come on Eddie, just keep your head down, this one lap, then you'll pass in the next one. It's not been that at all. Now Eddie will be desperate to get past, and he thought he had that move done. He thought he'd used up that little bit of the ERS that he had to make the move. It just hasn't quite happened.
Yeah, he's trying to do the switch back there through the hairpin. Gav defended very, very well through that. He's defending for all he's worth. Oh, as Geke is retired from the session, is that going to bring anything out? It's brought a safety car!
That's what Gav wanted.
He did. He's got it. Now, is he going to go for mediums? Is he going to go for soft tyres? This is perfect. He's going to... Oh, will he lose to Jackster? It's going to be close. I think he will. Hang on, what did I have? Safety car, 22 seconds you seem to lose under safety car for a pit stop. I'm sure that's the gap. And it was just got out. So I think you lose about 20 seconds, give or take, under safety car for a pit stop. But what is he going to do? He does take the moment to dive into the pit. But I'll tell you one thing more importantly, Eddie Dust has also taken the opportunity to come into the pit lane. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he had to. He had no choice because everybody else behind him was going to be on medium tyres that were going to be about 10 laps younger. It was the worst scenario there for Eddie Dust and the best one for Alfa Romeo because all of a sudden, who's that? Hear me roar. It's the Lion King in the lead.
It is. He was deciding not to pit because he doesn't need to. He is going to get that 4-second demotion, so he may as well put himself in the best spot. But who has he got behind him? It's only his teammate. Oh, wow. This is going to set up a grandstand finish. Eddie Dust does put the soft tyres on. Rob stays out, of course. He would. He has got the hards. He's just put them on, so why? Well, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Ghost Rider stays out 6 laps on those mediums. He'll be fine to the end as well. Everyone else, Jackster on the soft. Jackster's going to be one. He's going to be absolutely firing on all cylinders as well. So, yeah, now we're seeing a lot of drivers pit. Hugo Braun didn't pit with 14 laps on those mediums. Does he know something we don't know?
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't know it yet, because that's a very bold strategy.
Yeah, they're not going to be feeling very nice at this moment in time. Yeah. So Gibbon said he was crossing fingers for an SC 2 laps ago. Does he not know? Yeah, does he not know it's one?
Made the wrong wish. I don't know. Yeah. Didn't take advantage. I did ask people in the chat for their favourite Suzuka memories and say that we discussed them during the safety car. We have got one from Gibbenham, which is the Senna versus Prost in 1989. That is the iconic coming together at the chicane where Prost retired and Senna drove on to win the race and thought that he was back in the championship race, and then a naughty Frenchman decided to take that victory away in what might have been one of the most controversial moments in the sport. But yeah, hell of a race. Before my time, I'm afraid. Didn't watch it, but if you get a chance to watch the Senna movie, the documentary, they portray it excellently in that film. You really get the drama.
I totally agree, 100% with you on that one.
Have you got any favourite Suzuka moments?
Well, funny enough, my first memory of Formula 1 is 96 of Hill at Suzuka. That is actually my real first memory I ever have, and that's how I as soon as I realised, hang on, I love the livery of the Williams. I love the fact it's a British driver, obviously winning the championship, and that was my first ever memory, and I've been hooked ever since. Technically, yes, Suzuka brought me into Formula 1.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was entirely the moment I was going to mention that. It's iconic for lots of reasons. Damon Hill, one of my favourite drivers growing up. He was probably the star, the one I had posters on my wall of, who I was maybe the odd person being very happy that he won in Spa and at Jordan, which I think is one of the other great races.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible. I remember that. That was... as soon as you reminisce, you get the images back that you've witnessed and you remember, and it's difficult to get the words out sometimes. And now that was an absolute outstanding moment, and says those bloody Frenchmen.
And of course, you say it's difficult to get the words out. That 96 moment was when even the greatest commentator of all time, Murray Walker, struggled to get the words out because he had a lump in his throat. And I think that was the commentary moment, wasn't it? It was repeated a lot, and the one that you think about when he passed away all those years ago. So yeah, some great moments here at Suzuka. field's bunching up now. I think if I was a betting man, I'd say we'd have the safety car in this lap, or I hope that we get the chance to go racing as soon as possible, so we get
we will.
4 laps.
We've seen a lot of the tyres. We're going to get rid of that screen now. Martin decides to... How can you type and race, honestly? Watching Villeneuve's wheel go into the catch fence in 96.
That was the
I
moment
don't remember
Hill,
that bit, I'll be honest.
I think that was the moment that Hill caught the championship, because Villeneuve was the only one who could stop it. And that was the moment it was done.
Now we could get a late safety car. We have got a late safety car call. There it is. There are a lot of, obviously, other memories from Suzuka, not just the 89 and 90 seasons, not just 96. There have been more recent times, unfortunately, not so nice memories, which we're going to omit, I think, out of respect for, of course, those involved. But now it's Simba who's got the safety car restart, and he does manage to go early, and he does catch Gav napping. His teammate was holding back a little bit, but now we go. And Simba did the right thing. He didn't seem to do, unfortunately, what Neil did in the opening safety car restart. But Gav does keep ahead of Eddie Dust. This is crucial for Gav because he's now been able to charge his ERS. And how can he save it? Just enough and use it only when needed to defend. And also catch up to his teammate, get the DRS. When it becomes nailed in a couple more laps time, we've got Rob Smith very close. He's on the hard compound tyres, don't forget, in 4th. Here's Rob. He's going to take a little bit more, getting the grip up there. As soon as that's gone round, that's E17's gone round in the S's. Oh my days, that's crucial for the championship because we've got Ghost Rider and Rob up there, don't forget, as well. Boothie scoring... Where's Boothie? Where's Bjorn? In 8th, so he's scoring points as well. That's devastating for E17. When it comes to currently 4th in the championship, could drop down to 6th. Or potentially a little bit lower, but depending how it all works. Kimi's drive through the field in 2005, Ants mentioned. Now that, yeah, right, last to first. I think he was 17th, something like that, 18th. And you're right, what a drive that was. That was one of the, yeah, you're right, one of the standouts as well. Good call. I like that one.
Kimi was on... Peak Kimi was just on another level. It was very short and sharp. But yeah, you see the YouTube clips of him, you just go... Wow, there's a reason that guy won a world championship. Yeah,
and to be fair, it's one of those that there's a lot of people out there don't like Kimi. I was going on the fence with him, but I do now. As you get into it, as you get older, you can understand. Especially, I work with a lot of customers every day, and his attitude to I'm not really bothered anymore of talking. I get that totally. I respect. It's like you come with more respect for the man because, I can see where he got his attitude from. I respect that.
What I loved when they were going around the field and they were talking to Kimi and they said like memories of him. Everybody to a man said that if you were going wheel to wheel with Kimi, you always knew that you were going to be given the space and that you were going to be safe. Like he would do it correctly. They never felt in danger. And I think that's maybe one of the highest compliments you can give. Anyone without a doubt, because that's what we want.
Yeah, fully agree with that one. Fully agree. We're still on board with this battle that, well, there is action a little further down. Soze is fighting his way back through the field. Rotterdam as well is having a tough time. They've had some really up and down race. This one for those boys. Of course, Soze was potentially battling for the lead. He was in his way. His teammate is now, which we're on board with watching as he's battling with the Alfa Romeo. The other one's just crept up the road a little bit. But what's going to be crucial is Eddie's managed to save a lot of his ERS, whereas Gav is not managing to do that in his defence. So this is going to be crucial. He just needs to be a little bit patient. Now, is Gav going to be in DRS? Oh, it's a little bit deep into the Casio triangle, as they call it. But as he got the DRS, is now enabled this lap. So we've got 2 racing laps left, and we're going to have 2 laps with the DRS. Is Eddie going to be able to snatch the potential victory from the Banshee? We're going to go back, but I tell you what, the Mercedes boys are almost wheel to wheel through turn 1 2. I'll tell you what, Jackson, big incident! Jackson sees the opportunity. Ghost Rider got a tap, went round, and I think he got hit by what might have been Stringy B in the Haas. Is the damage to the race? Stringy B's got damage, end plate damage. Oh my days, an innocent bystander, unfortunately for that. So he's very, very struggling for grip now and falling down. Boozy, his teammates got past him. Scratches all over the back as well. And Stringy, starting from the back of the grid, was having a sensational race. Ooh, runs a little bit wide. Scratch had to back out of that, so good awareness from the Aston Martin there. That's so unlucky.
Yeah, absolute chaos his final laps. Jackster making his way up the field past Rob Smith now into fourth. Eddie all over the back of Night Shadow now.
Wow,
He
really
wants to
is.
get that done.
Yep, he is. Gav's
Twitch.
Is he going to have the drive out of the spoon? Gav's trying to give him a little bit of a squeeze. He knows where he is. He's just trying. It's very bumpy, so I don't think Gav's weaving. I think he's just, and he's used all of his EOS. We've got one more lap. He has to defend. Oh, Gav's lost it. Managed to keep it out the wall, but Gav's lost it.
That was bizarre. He just lost it, didn't he? I don't think I've ever seen a car just lose the rear end there. Maybe just got a bit of a twitch or hit a bump. But
I don't know. Do not know. Oh, that's devastating. Heartbreaking for the Banshee. Wow.
So where are our fights now? I think maybe Scratch Charisma up the inside of Stringy B. What, are they going to go side by side through the S's here? No.
Stringy B, of course, no end plate as well. He's going to be very, very slow through here. Scratch is trying to go on the outside through the S's. What a move that is to get them there. Just the grip. And now we've got... Oh, there's a... Don't know what happened there. Who was that? Was that...
Dacon's round, I think.
It was Dacon. Sorry, I was trying to work out who it was. Dacon, yeah, he's gone round. Hugo Bourne's pitted again and got 5 seconds of speed in the pit lane and is retired from the race. What is going on with Dacon Vertical there? I don't know where he was going there. Almost went straight on up Dunlop Hill. A Dunlop corner even.
Heard us talking about Kimmy who went rallying.
Yeah, I think so. And now out of the points, he has got a penalty as well. Those tyres are not going to be feeling very nice. And now E17 comes up the inside and takes that place. Oh, that's so unlucky from that. So Gav is now currently getting a point as it stands. He's got Ghost Rider, who's had an issue as well. What happened to Ghost Rider? Did we miss? Oh, yes, he got round, didn't he, of course. Single track's DNF. Single track's got... And I think something's happened because Gav's now got no front wing as well. There's single track there, so he's gone out of Spoon. But Gav's got no wing. I thought he actually had a wing left.
Maybe he hasn't. Maybe he didn't have his wing after that crash. But we've missed the stuff to start, haven't we? Simba across the line. Yeah,
takes the victory. But Eddie Dust will take it after demotions. Eddie Dust finished second. Rob Smith in third. Great race from him on the hard tyres at the end. Jackster will be fourth. Rob Smith got Jackster at the end. Scratch takes fifth. Boothie in sixth by 0.03 of a second. Wow. Carl takes seventh. He will be demoted out of the points, unfortunately. Stringy B, great race from him. Held on as well at the end. From last on the grid. Night Shadow does come home with some points. Oh, so unlucky for him. He'll be really upset with that one. Ghost Rider will just come home with the final point scoring place. TY clear in 11th. Dacon Vertical after his unfortunate excursion rallying. He finishes 12th. Kisa Soze, it's a heartbreak for him. He was up there as well with his teammate. Takes 13th. Neil in 14th. And Rotterdam in 15th at the last of the finishers. We'll come to the drivers who, unfortunately, did not finish in just a moment. Stringy B, you kind of say almost rightly, takes the driver of the day, starting from 20th and finishing in the points. Great racing from him.
It was excellent. My personal driver of the day, I'm going to give it to Jackster. I think being a Tier 4 driver and performing so well in the Tier 3 race, leading it for a long time as well. So a big shout out. Kept his cool at the end.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you on that one, to be honest with you. Yeah, it is definitely between Jackster and Stringy. He had a bit of bad luck, unfortunately, Stringy, for that little collision and having that damage that he sustained towards the end. He could have been on for a really high result, but yeah, I think you're right for both of those guys. So there we are. Simba takes victory on track. Eddie does take second. Rob Smith in third. The podium finishes after demotions and tier demotion, as I say. Jackster will take that podium spot. Scratch Charisma in fifth. Boothie in sixth. Carl in seventh. He will drop out of the points after tier demotions. Stringy B in eighth. Night Shadow in ninth. Ghost Rider in 10th. TY clear in 11th. Jack Convertible in 12th. Unfortunately, it was going really well. And it wasn't to be points for the Williams man. Kesa Soze in 13th, unfortunately for him. Neil in 14th at the last and sorry, it was the last of the finishers. Still classified though was Rotterdam in 15th. E17 finished a lap down. He DNF'd. Actually, no, sorry, apologies. Rotterdam did finish. I'm sorry. The people who did not finish, unfortunately, E17 single track had that big crash at the end. Hugo Boyn, I do believe, retired in the pits with a few laps to go. Geke went early on, unfortunately. Konichiwa as well was the first of our retirees. And that was one of those ones that was action a little bit, then quieting down action, and then it just all kind of exploded at the end.
It was chaos at the end. I don't think I just wasn't expecting that moment from Gav. That suddenly turned the whole race on its head, and made things very interesting. Congratulations to everybody who made it to the end, and I can't wait for Tier 4 that will be coming up very, very soon. Yeah,
that is going to be a very, very exciting race. You're very true there, of course. Potential championship could be done as well this evening, so don't go anywhere, don't miss it, because that is going to be very, very exciting indeed. All that's left to say is thank you for everyone who joined in. Thank you for joining in the YouTube chat as well. Don't forget to leave a like on the videos if you enjoyed the racing. Never mind us talking drivel, just if you enjoyed the racing. And then we will see everybody shortly for Tier 4. Thank you again, everybody. Thank you to you. It's been a while, and it's been a pleasure, as always.
No, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me again. Hopefully there isn't such a long gap next time. Always nice commentating with you.
Yeah, exactly that, my friend. Yeah, we'll have to see what we can organise, can't we? And when the rotations kick in for Season 10, of course, very, very soon, in about a month's time. But thank you, everybody. Coming up next, we do have Tier 4 action for you, so don't go anywhere. If you haven't hit the bell to get the notification when we go live, do that now. Hit the like button as well, and we will all see you very, very soon. Tier 4 coming up shortly. We have MRCX on Friday at 7:30 p.m. and then we move to Imola, where titles could be potentially decided on Monday evening. That starts from 7 p.m. all live, all exclusive here on the MRC YouTube channel. So thank you again, everybody, and thank you again, Rob.
No problem. Cheers. Take care, everyone.
Take care. Good night.